Before there was the sun, before the stars were scattered across the velvet dark like spilled salt, there was only the void, Ginnungagap, a yawning abyss of nothingness that stretched into the infinite. But even in the silence of the beginning, two primal forces were stirring. To the south lay Muspelheim, a realm of roaring flames and white-hot embers. To the north lay Niflheim, a world of suffocating mists and eternal ice. For eons, the heat and the frost crept toward one another until they met in the center of the void. Where the sparks of fire kissed the melting ice, life flickered into existence. From this chaotic union, the first giant, Ymir, was born, and the great world tree, Yggdrasil, began to take root. This is the story of the 9 realms, the cosmic tapestry that binds the gods, the giants, and the souls of men. At the heart of everything stands Yggdrasil, the great ash. It is more than a tree. It is the skeleton of the universe, the living bridge that connects all levels of existence. Its branches reach above the heavens, and its 3 massive roots delve into the deepest wells of the cosmos. It is a living, breathing entity, constantly under siege. At its highest peak sits an unnamed eagle of vast wisdom, while at its lowest root, the dragon Nidhogg gnaws eternally, seeking to topple the structure of reality itself. Between them, the squirrel Ratatoska scurries up and down the trunk, carrying insults and whispers of malice, fueling the tension between the heights and the depths. To understand the realms, one must understand that they are not floating islands in space, but fruits hanging from these celestial branches, held together by the strength of the ash. High above the clouds, bathed in a light that never fades, lies Asgard. This is the fortress of the Aesir, the primary tribe of gods. It is a realm of gleaming gold, towering marble, and eternal vigilance. Here, the laws of the universe are written in the halls of the powerful. At its center stands Gladsheim, the great hall of Odin, where the All-Father sits upon his throne, Hlidskjalf. From this seat, no secret is hidden. He can look out across all 9 worlds and see the movements of every living creature. Asgard is not merely a place of peace, but a citadel prepared for war. The most famous of its structures is Valhalla, the Hall of the Slain. Its roof is thatched with golden shields, its rafters are spears, and its doors are so wide that 800 warriors can march through them abreast. This is the destination for those who die bravely in battle, the Einherjar, who spend their days fighting and their nights feasting, honing their skills for the final battle of Ragnarok. But Asgard is not the only home of the divine. Across a shimmering, invisible border lies Vanaheim, the ancestral home of the Vanir gods. If Asgard is a fortress of order and sovereignty, Vanaheim is a garden of wild, untamed power. The Vanir are the masters of nature, fertility, and the arcane arts of Seder magic. Their realm is a place of lush forests, winding rivers, and air that smells of damp earth and blooming flowers. It was once the rival of Asgard, and the 2 realms fought a long, bloody war that ended in a stalemate. To ensure peace, the 2 tribes exchanged hostages. It was from Vanaheim that the god Njord and his children, Freyr and Freya, came to live among the Aesir. Vanaheim remains a place of mystery, where the wind speaks in riddles, and the very trees seem to possess a consciousness older than the gods themselves. It represents the nurturing yet unpredictable force of the natural world. Closely linked to the brilliance of the upper realms is Alfheim, the land of the light elves. Ruled by the god Freyr, who was gifted the realm as a tooth gift in his youth, Alfheim is a place of ethereal beauty. The light elves are said to be fairer than the sun to look upon, and their home reflects this radiance. It is a realm of soft light, shimmering streams, and music that feels like a memory. While the myths speak little of the specific conflicts within Alfheim, it is often described as a sanctuary of grace and inspiration. The elves are beings of light and air, and their presence is felt in the beauty of a sunrise or the silver glow of the moon. They are the guardians of the world's elegance, living in a state of perpetual harmony that the other realms can only envy. Descending from the heights of the divine, we find ourselves in the center of the world tree, Midgard. This is the realm of humanity, the middle yard. It was fashioned by Odin and his brothers from the eyebrows of the fallen giant Ymir to serve as a fortress against the chaos of the outer worlds. Midgard is a land of rolling hills, deep oceans, and rugged mountains, familiar to the mortal eye. Yet, it is a fragile place. It is completely encircled by a vast, bottomless ocean, and within that ocean lurks Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent. The serpent is so large that it circles the entire world, biting its own tail. When it twitches, the earth shakes. When it breathes, the tides turn. Midgard is the primary battlefield for the soul of the universe, a place where the mundane and the magical intersect. It is protected from the giants by a massive wall, but the gods know that this protection is temporary. For humans, life in Midgard is a struggle of survival, a brief spark of warmth between the cold shadows of the other worlds. Beyond the borders of Midgard, across the freezing oceans and through the forests of iron, lies Jotunheim, the land of the giants. This is a realm of jagged peaks, howling winds, and ancient crumbling stone. The Jotnar, or giants, are the oldest enemies of the gods. They are not merely large beings, but elemental forces of chaos and destruction. Jotunheim is a world where nothing is as it seems. Its primary fortress, Utgard, is built of snow and ice, so massive that a human could walk for days just to reach the front gate. The giants are masters of illusion and ancient wisdom, possessing secrets that even Odin covets. They represent the raw, unbridled power of the wilderness, the crushing weight of the mountain, the biting sting of the blizzard. There is no mercy in Jotunheim, only the harsh reality of the predator and the prey. It is a dark mirror to Asgard, a place where the old gods of the earth wait for their chance to tear down the order the Aesir have built. Deep beneath the surface of the earth, in the lightless caverns and winding tunnels of the world's roots, lies Svartalfheim, also known as Nidavellir. This is the domain of the dwarves, the master smiths of the Norse cosmos. The dwarves were born from the maggots that crawled within the flesh of the dead giant Ymir, but the gods granted them wit and the shape of men. They are creatures of stone and shadow, unable to endure the light of the sun, which turns them to cold rock. Svartalfheim is a realm of fire and iron, where the air is thick with the smell of sulfur and the rhythmic beat of hammers on anvils never ceases. It is here that the greatest treasures of the gods were forged. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, Odin's spear, Gungnir, and the golden hair of Sif. The dwarves are a greedy and prideful race, but their craftsmanship is unmatched. They turn the raw materials of the earth into objects of divine power, proving that even in the deepest darkness, brilliance can be found. To understand the foundations of the universe, we must look to the two primordial realms that existed before all others. To the south is Muspelheim, the realm of fire. It is a place of unbearable heat, where the air itself burns and the ground is a sea of molten lava. Muspelheim is ruled by Surtur, a giant who carries a sword that shines brighter than the sun. He has sat at the edge of the realm since the beginning of time, waiting. He is the guardian of the flame, and when the end of the world comes, it is Surtur who will lead the sons of Muspel into battle. He will march across the Bifrost Bridge, shattering it beneath his feet, and cast his fire across the 9 worlds, reducing Yggdrasil to ash. Muspelheim is the source of all warmth and light, but it is also the source of the ultimate destruction. It represents the creative and destructive power of heat, the spark that begins life and the inferno that ends it. In direct contrast to the fires of the south is Niflheim, the realm of mist and ice. This is the northernmost world, a place of eternal winter and suffocating fog. It is the oldest of the realms, a frozen wasteland where the cold is so intense it can shatter bone. At the heart of Niflheim lies Ymir, the bubbling cauldron, a spring from which 11 icy rivers flow. These rivers, known as the Elivaga, carried the venom of the primordial void into the world, eventually forming the first life. Niflheim is a world of silence and stagnation. There is no growth here, only the slow, grinding movement of glaciers and the biting wind. It is the ancestral home of the frost giants, and it remains a place of pure, elemental hostility. If Muspelheim is the fire of the soul, Niflheim is the cold indifference of the void. Beneath the frozen wastes of Niflheim, or perhaps adjacent to it in the deepest shadows, lies the realm of the dead, Helheim. This is the final destination for those who do not die in battle, those who succumb to old age, sickness, or misfortune. It is ruled by the goddess Hel, the daughter of Loki, whose face is half that of a beautiful woman and half that of a rotting corpse. To enter Helheim, one must cross the river Gjöll over a bridge thatched with gleaming gold, guarded by the giantess Modgud. The gates of Hel, known as Helgrind, are heavy and silent, and once they close behind a soul, they rarely open again. Helheim is not a place of active torture, like the modern concept of hell, but it is a place of gloom and eternal stillness. The dead here feast on meager rations in halls with names like Sleet Cold and Misery. It is a realm of grey shadows and fading memories, where the vibrant life of the upper worlds feels like a distant, unreachable dream. Even the gods fear Helheim, for not even Odin can command the dead to return once they have crossed its threshold. The 9 realms are not static. They are in a state of constant rhythmic tension. The heat of Muspelheim pulls against the frost of Niflheim. The order of Asgard struggles against the chaos of Jotunheim. The mortality of Midgard is balanced by the immortality of the gods. This balance is maintained by the Norns, the 3 weavers of fate who sit at the well of Urd beneath one of the roots of Yggdrasil. They carve the destinies of all beings into the bark of the tree, ensuring that every action and every choice leads toward an inevitable conclusion. They water the roots of the ash with sacred water to keep the rot at bay, but even they cannot stop the slow decay of the world. As we look across the expanse of these 9 worlds, we see a universe that is both beautiful and terrifying. It is a world of high peaks and deep shadows, of golden halls and frozen graves. The Norsemen saw their cosmos as a reflection of their own lives, a struggle against the elements, a search for glory, and an acceptance of the end. They knew that the bridge of the rainbow, the Bifrost, was fragile. They knew that the walls of Midgard would eventually fall. But they also knew that every realm played a vital role in the song of existence. The story of the 9 realms is the story of the cycle of life. It begins in the void, peaks in the golden age of the gods, and ends in the fire and flood of Ragnarok. But even in the destruction, there is a seed of hope. It is said that after the fire of Surtur has consumed the world and the earth has sunk into the sea, a new world will rise, green and fair. The sun will bear a daughter more beautiful than herself, and the cycle will begin again. The 9 realms are more than just a map of the ancient world. They are a map of the human spirit, navigating the heights of ambition and the depths of despair, forever anchored by the roots of the great world tree. As the wind howls through the branches of Yggdrasil, we are reminded that we are all travelers between these worlds, walking the thin line between the light of Alfheim and the shadows of Helheim, waiting for the dawn of a new age.
If you liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe button for more.